This is your foam rolling recovery session. So go ahead and grab your foam roller. And hey, before we get started, just want to share with you why it's so important to foam roll. All right? So what happens is our fascia, which is that fiber tissue right in between our skin and muscle, and it's like, if you can imagine spaghetti all kind of tangled up, that's kind of what your fascia looks like. And when we overuse it, maybe we're doing a lot of repetitive movement, maybe we're sitting a lot, or we're injured, our fascia becomes very tight and unhealthy. So we use a foam roller as a massage tool. It's going to help loosen everything up, it can help release knots, and it's just amazing, amazing tool. So let's go ahead and come down to the floor. We're going to set our roller here. And also, if you notice, I have a few different types of foam rollers. So you can go for a dense one, light to medium, smaller ones, bumpy ones. And over time, I will upload some videos using other tools like the lacrosse ball, which is amazing. So don't forget to hit like, subscribe to my channel, and you will get notifications. All right? Okay, so from here, we're going to start off with one cap at a time. You can go ahead and move the roller to the side. And what you're going to do is just press your palms into the floor right under your shoulders. Go ahead and let one leg be extended. And we're just going to place the calf right on that roller. And what we're going to do is just start to gently roll right on it. Keep it pretty simple here. And so a lot of people might foam roll wrong. A lot of us might own a foam roller and not sure how to quite use it. But a couple key things you want to think about is slow movement. It's not about going fast. You don't have to dig hard in there. Just take your time. And then when you do encounter a little tight spot, a trigger point, you can hold there and breathe. Sometimes we try to hold our breath, which is not good. Okay? And if you're not comfortable with holding a tender spot, you can always just kind of move around it. That's okay too. In about 15, 30 seconds, it's good to start with. I don't ever recommend holding longer than 45 seconds to a minute on just one area. Okay. So now we're also creating blood flow and circulation, right? Which is super important. When our fascia is tight, we lose that blood flow. Now, if you want to go a little bit more, you can actually lift yourself up. Creates a little bit more pressure. Nice. And now we're going to go ahead and move on to the other side. There's a lot of great benefits to foam rolling, guys. Okay, we're going to help increase blood flow. You can help decrease pain and soreness when you're working out. You can help prevent injury. You can even enhance performance. Because when everything is super tight, it's really hard to move, right? It's hard to do a push-up. It's hard to get up and take your arm over your head sometimes. Good. Again, finding any tender spot, holding on it. You can go side to side. It doesn't feel that great. And it's kind of like a hurt so good pain. And if it's your first time foam rolling, I definitely would say try it out for a couple weeks before you give up, because yes, you will be sore your first couple times. Your body is going into shock because all of a sudden you're starting to press on things, right? And so it's very common to be sore, and that's why it's very important to stay hydrated and drink water before, during, and after your foam rolling sessions. And let's release. Now we're going to move into the calves. We don't want to roll right underneath your knees, so avoid that area, but we're going to start to work into our hamstrings now. So this one, we do need to be lifted up. Now if you want to do one at a time, you can. You can go here. This is going to feel really good if you're a runner, and you can also cross one leg over the other, again creating more pressure. Think about breathing with movement. Nice. Again, we're just kind of exploring, feeling those areas that are tight, maybe holding on. And switch to the other side. And then this is kind of uncomfortable. You can always come down on your forearm like this. do, I just like to show you some options, is you can just do one leg right here. That works. Awesome. And now we're going to go into our glutes. Alright, so we're just going to go ahead and place our glutes right on that roller. And we're going to go ahead and shift our weight to one side, to one cheek. And then we're going to just start to roll up and down. So we have a lot of muscles in our glutes, so you're going to find it pretty tight as you go up and down. There's going to be a lot of bumps along the way. So just move gently. If you can handle more pressure, you could definitely lift your leg up and cross over, creating, again, a little stretch while you're rolling. Right, as you kind of shift to the more of the side of the glute, you're going to feel that medius glute working. And then when you encounter those tight spots, you definitely can hold, breathe. Breathing is definitely key. A lot of times when people are foam rolling, they're doing it wrong because they're either moving too fast or they're going too deep and they're starting to hold their breath, which is creating tension when you're holding your breath, and then you're trying to work into that tension. It doesn't work that way, so you have to relax. You have to breathe. And then you also kind of, as you're exploring in the glute area, if you go more towards the middle of the glute, you're going to find that piriformis. Right, it's like the middle of the glute. It's super tight, right? And this can be tight, and it can be caused by sitting too long. All right, so if you have like an office job, this might be a really good way to help release some of that pain. And if you think about it, everything's connected, right? When your glutes hurt, it can be affecting your lower back. If your hips are tight, it can be caused from lower back pain can be caused from hips tight. It goes down to your knee, down to your ankle, because it's like a whole chain, right? I also get asked a lot, because I have clients that do my foam rolling classes, what's better, foam rolling or stretching first? Foam rolling, right? Because when you're foam rolling, you're kind of stretching out that fascia, and then when you're stretching, you can actually just kind of ease right into those stretches. So it's better just to kind of wake up the body with the roller and then move into stretching. And let's go to the other side now. Again, you can keep your leg extended. You notice I'm kind of doing it a couple different ways. You can keep your leg up. When you cross, it's the most intense way. Right, foam rolling is going to help reduce that recovery time soreness, right? So when you're exercising a lot, you're sore the next day, foam rolling can really help alleviate some of that soreness. Again, we're holding areas no longer than 30-45 seconds. And if you don't feel comfortable holding a tender spot, that knot area, that's okay too. Just work around it. Another thing is very common to be sore a few days, especially if it's your first time or you haven't rolled for a while. Very common, so just drink a lot of water. Your body's going through a little shock right now. And so the more you do it, the less painful it is, and it becomes like a hurt so good pain. Whew. Wonderful. So now we're going to move on. We're going to flip over now, and we're going to get into our hamstrings. Let me make sure I'm recording. I always get scared, like, what if it's not recording? Yep, we're still good. So we're going to go into the hip flexors, all right? Bones are here, flexors wrap around. It's kind of a small area, so we're going with small movement. We're just going to place that hip flexor right on the roller. And sometimes it's hard to find, but for the majority of us, as soon as you apply pressure around the hip flexor and you start to move, you're going to feel it. It's going to go like, ouch, that hurts. Okay, so so if you notice, I'm just slightly going side to side. You can also go up and down. You can keep your knee down, hence keeps a lot less weight on the roller. But if you can handle more, you can definitely come here. You can curl that one leg back, right? A lot of times when people are in lower chronic back pain, it can be caused from tightness, right? Not just in the back, but from the glutes coming up into the hip flexor. And when this is super tight, it can be causing a lot of that back pain. So instead of just getting those back massages, consider starting to do a little bit more hip flexor massages and stretches. Nice and gentle. And then we'll go to the other side. There are also other tools you can use that I will be sharing in my other videos. Like you can use lacrosse balls. Those are, oh my goodness, there's something that gets right into those areas. Now, I also want you to notice and kind of tune in with your body and notice if one side of your body is tighter than the other. Like right now, this side, it's a lot tighter, right? And there's a lot of factors that can play into it, right? Maybe your one leg is longer than the other. Maybe you overuse one side, you compensate all that weight because maybe you carry a child or a person on one side or you sleep on one side. There's so many reasons. But just, if you need to spend a little bit more time on one area that's tighter, just go ahead and do that. If you notice, I don't like to kind of hold too long in the hip flexor because it's pretty intense. Good, and release. Nice. Now we're just going to do, a little stretch before we go into the upper body. And again, these are just some basic moves I'm showing you. I do plan on doing more videos, so watch out for those. So now that we've kind of worked a little bit of the back and the glutes, we're just going to go ahead and just take our arms up and just reach for our toes. Nose comes towards the floor. We're just going to hold that stretch. Relax your shoulders. And release. Good. Oh, good. All right, so now we're going to go into our back. All right, so now we're going to start about the mid-back. One thing you want to be careful with foam rolling is you never want to place that roller on the lower lumbar spine, right? The lowest part of your back. That's because there's not a lot of support there. So if you think about it, if you're applying all that pressure, things are more susceptible to move, and that's dangerous. So unless you've got a professional massage therapist massaging you on a table in a safe way, if you're doing this yourself, let's stick to mid-back and roll up, all right? There's other ways we can stretch and take care of that lower back pain throughout different moves we have in our future videos. So start mid-back, and here in your mid-back going up, you've got that rib cage that kind of supports everything, and so there you're safer. So you're going to take your feet a little closer to your body. You're going to draw your hips up towards the sky, right? Your arms are going to come up, and you're going to feel like your abs are going to work a little bit in this one, but that's okay. Big inhale through your nose as you come up towards the shoulder blades. And as you exhale, it's like you're doing a little crunch. Good. Again, inhale and relax. Sometimes you're getting a little free pops and adjustments. You're welcome. And exhale. So if this doesn't come naturally at first time, that's okay. You can keep your body down and shift this way. That works too. And right. And it just takes a couple tries before you kind of get into that momentum. Feels so good. And then now we're going to go and take our hips down back to the floor. Your glutes are touching the floor. Now your foam roller is directly under your shoulder blades. All right, and so from here, we're just going to kind of shift side to side. Just depending on your flexibility, you can, move a little out. You can, increase that range of motion. And then you're going to start to feel that upper back and then those lats. Lats get very tight. It's kind of like the hip flexor. Those are two areas, your lats and your hips. You don't realize how much it affects you when your hips are tight and when your lats are tight. And now we're gonna actually just kind of hang out on one side. We're gonna go ahead and stack our hips, and we're gonna hang out right under, kind of behind the armpit. So I like to always tell my clients, start off right on your on your armpit. All right, it's your roller. It's gonna get a little stinky, but make sure you wipe it down when you're done. You can keep your elbow down, and then you're gonna just take it back slightly, just a little bit. And so now you're in those lats, and ooh, does that hurt? You can keep your arm out. I like to support my head and neck. That's why I like to place my hand on my head. And you notice I'm doing a little rocky motion because sometimes I don't want to hold it. It's pretty tight. Up and down. And sometimes people ask, am I doing it right? Well, if you feel it, if you can feel that tightness, all right? There's a difference between like dangerous injury pain and then like that's tight. So you can feel it's tight. And when your lats are tight, it can restrict your arms from full range of motion, right? So think about it. If your lats are tight and they're pulling back, it's hard to come up and grab something. Or maybe when you do, you can actually injure yourself because you're so tight that it starts to cause pain throughout your back and everywhere else, right? Especially as we get older, right? We start to, shoulders are dropped, up and down, and we're hinged over like this. And it's not because we're getting old that we have to look like that. It's maybe we haven't taken time to have some self-care, some self-massage, and it's never too late. You can fix a lot of the problems. And release. Now when you're done with that, just kind of move your arm around. See how that feels. I feel release. Like I can compare to the other side. It's amazing, just a little bit of time, what it can do. We're gonna go to the other side. All right. Again, it's super important that you just kind of feel for areas. Now, everyone's going to be a little tighter in different spots. Nice. Go up and down. If you can handle more pressure, you definitely can lift those hips up. I don't recommend it if you're new. It's not worth it, even though you feel like, oh, well, I'm really sore. But if you've never done this, you have to take it easy. Just think of your fascia or all those tight areas like an onion, right? You got to just peel one layer back at a time. You got to be gentle and careful. And there is such thing as overdoing it. So that's why you don't want to hold on areas too long, because you can overstimulate that area. You can actually make it worse, and we don't want to do that. And if at any time it's just too much, you just take a break, get some water, skip some of the areas. You always have to do what's best for you. I didn't realize how tight I am. Oh my goodness. I used to teach this twice, sometimes even 3 times a week, and the gyms have been closed, so I definitely miss my foam rolling classes. So excited to do this video for you guys. And let's release. Nice. And again, just kind of move it around. So we have one more area we're going to work, which is your quads. I kind of forgot, but I just kept going with it. But we are going to work on your quads. It's the largest muscle in your legs. It's going to be tight, but it's also going to feel really, really good. So we're going to go back to the lower part of your body. We're going to never roll over our knees. So we're going to stay above our knees, and we're going to come from here all the way up as high as you want, even up to the hip flexors. So what we want to do here is we're going to place our palms and forearms down on the mat. Shoulders come back. And then you're going to just, same thing, just gently roll. Kind of feeling for tightness. If you keep your legs closer to the floor, it reduces some tension. You can lift your legs up, or you can curl. A pretty extreme one would be to just lift one leg off. Ooh, I don't even think I'm ready for that. And the cool thing too is you can take your toes out. You can kind of work a little bit at the inside of your legs, inner thighs. You You can bring your toes together, work a little bit outside. But notice how I'm moving slow and controlled. Good. Again, if you find a spot, just hang out there. And yes, can you foam roll before working out? Absolutely. Can you foam roll after? Yes. Can you foam roll every day? Yes. But if you're going to spend a long time in an area and you're sore the next day from there, take a break. You can break it down, like maybe one day you could do more legs, the next day upper body. You know, if you're going for a run or maybe going to do chest day, like massage the chest area, massage those legs. And then maybe spend a little bit more time after. So just a short amount of time before you start to exercise, just to kind of get the fascia ready, but spend a lot longer after your workout session, or maybe after you get home from work and you've been sitting on that desk too long, on the desk, at the desk, on the chair. And let's release. Good job, you guys. All right, so let's go ahead and come over here. Let's cross your legs together. Shoulders can come back. And I want you to just take your hands, fingertips in front of your chest. Take a big inhale and open that chest up. Exhale, bring it together. Let's do that again. Big inhale. And exhale. Last time, make it really big, exaggerate, wide, spread your fingers, open up, and exhale. Arms come to the sky, and release. Thank you so much for joining me today. Don't forget to like, again, subscribe, and make sure you hit the bell for notifications. Share this video with your friends and family.